Hello everyone. Today we are starting with the fourth chapter of history, that is creation of the Mughal Empire. The Mughals were descendants of two great empires. From their mother's side, they were the descendants of Genghis Khan, and from their father's side, they were the successors of the Timurid Empire. However, they did not like to be called Mongols as they were very proud of their Timurid Empire. Babur inherited a small Central Asian kingdom of Fargana. At the young age of 11 years, soon he was driven out by an Uzbek tribe of that region. His attempts for the conquest of Samarkand had failed. He soon conquered Kabul in 1504 CE. Babur was fascinated with India's wealth. When Daulat Khan Lodi invited him to India, he did not want to miss the opportunity of conquering India. He then invaded India and defeated Ibrahim Lodi at the First Battle of Panipat in 1526 CE. After the First Battle of Panipat, Babur occupied Delhi and made Agra its capital. This battle marked the beginning of the Mughal Empire. Babur defeated the combined forces of Rana Sanga of Mewar and his allies at Kanuva in 1527. Later, he conquered Gwalior and other places. He defeated the Afghan chiefs of Bengal and Bihar in 1529. In a short period of 4 years, Babur occupied territories from Indus to Bihar and from Himalayas to Gwalior. But before he could strengthen his hold over his conquest, he died in 1530. He was buried in Agra. Babur was the most respected man of his age. He was educated in Persian and Arabic and wrote his autobiography, that is Baburnama, in Turkish language. Humayun. After the death of Babur, son Humayun succeeded him and inherited a large empire. Humayun had a very rough life as a ruler. Initially, he struggled to maintain his kingdom as he fought with Sher Shah Suri of Bihar and Bahadur Shah of Gujarat. After he was defeated by Sher Shah at Chausa, he became a king without kingdom, wandering in Sindh, Rajasthan and Persia looking for shelter and help. He made preparations to recover the lost territories in India by making Kabul his base. When he was at Umarkot, his wife gave birth to their son Akbar. In 1555, he reoccupied Delhi and re-established his empire in India. Unfortunately, he did not live long after this. He died in 1556 due to an accidental fall from the stairs of his library building. Sher Shah, the ruler of eastern India who defeated Humayun twice in the Battle of Chausa and Kannauj, was Sher Shah. After defeating Humayun, he became the Sultan of Delhi. He was the son of an Afghan Jagirdar from Jaunpur in Uttar Pradesh. His kingdom stretched from the Jhelum to the Brahmaputra and the Himalayas to the Narmada. In a short period of 5 years, Sher Shah improved the administration of his territories. He had a large standing army and continued the practice of branding horses. Sher Shah established a monarchical system of government. The kingdom was divided into provinces, which were further divided into number of sarkars. These sarkars were further divided into parganas or villages, which was then divided into group of villages. A village was the lowest unit of administration. The parganas were under the shikdars, who looked after the law and order, and amil or munshi, who was responsible for collection of revenue. He himself directly supervised the administration. He treated all equally and gave impartial justice. He built number of roads, Prominent among them was the Grand Trunk Road connecting Lahore to Multan and Agra to Bengal. Land revenue was a major source of income for the king. Revenue was assessed on the basis of the fertility of land. The revenue to be paid was one third of the produce and it could be given either in cash or kind. Sher Shah introduced coins called the rupiah. Sher Shah's history was written by Abbas Khan in 1579 CE, which gives many details of his administration. In 1545 CE, he died of gunpowder explosion while conquering Kalinga fort at Bundelkhand. Now, next is Akbar. Akbar spent his entire childhood learning how to fight and hunt. He had no interest in learning how to read and write. However, Akbar was the only Mughal emperor who was illiterate and still had abundant knowledge. Akbar was made king at the age of 13 years after the death of his father Humayun. Akbar was with Bairam Khan at the time of his father's passing, and Bairam was made regent as Akbar was still young. On many occasions, Bairam led campaign on Akbar's behalf to expand the kingdom. Hemu, the Hindu general of an Afghan prince, Adil Shah, was waiting for a chance to defeat Akbar. Hemu attacked the kingdom of Delhi and emerged victorious. In retaliation, Akbar launched an attack against Adil Shah in the Second Battle of Panipat. Mughal Empire won the battle by arrowing to the Hemu's eye, who was the general of Adil Shah. Hemu's men thought that he was dead and put down their weapons, accepting defeat. Akbar again occupied Agra fort and started adding more regions to his kingdom, stretching from the Indo-Gangetic basin to Kashmir and Afghanistan all the way down to Bengal in the east and part of Deccan in the south. Although Akbar was a young king, he was shrewd and well organized. He got rid of all his ministers whom he felt were over ambitious. He removed restrictions on religions and allowed his people to practice the religion of their choice without having to fear for their life. In spite of being illiterate, Akbar was surrounded by scholars such as Todarmal, Faisal, Birbal, who were all part of his 9 gems. Akbar also took keen interest in the fields of music, painting, poems, and philosophy. He had a huge collection of books and manuscripts and was also owner of a number of artwork from across the region. His biggest achievement lied in architecture. He built the great structures like Jama Masjid that stands tall even today. Akbar was the father of 3 children, Jahangir, Murad and Daniel. Jahangir was only surviving son as the other 2 died very young. Akbar and Jahangir did not share a very good relationship. In 1605, Akbar fell ill and died a slow death. He had managed to bring parts of East, West, North and South India under his rule during his tenure. Akbar's rule is greatly noted for the wealth of learning and culture that existed in his time. So here we are finished with our part 1 video. Thank you.